Hey, good evening. Another YouTube here. I hope anybody that's catching my YouTubes are enjoying them. I don't really watch them or look at them, so hopefully you guys are. So tonight it is evening for me, so wherever you are, it may be daytime, nighttime, doesn't really matter, but tonight we're talking about the forecast. So I was really fortunate quite a long time ago to meet a gentleman who was, in my estimations, one of the finest astrologers I ever sat with. And I have sat with quite a few. And I won't give any names because that's not really important, but he was actually the astrologer for a lot of people in the UN. The United Nations, Wall Street, big people. And I met him through somebody very wonderfully, who was a doctor, who I loved and still love. And when he read my chart, and I looked at him and I said, "Oh, that's really beautiful." And he said to me in leaving, he said, "Remember one thing, that this is all a forecast." I think I was about 23 when I sat with this person. And I really struggled with that for a while, because I had been sitting with people and teachers and talking about reincarnation and your life's purpose, and you've come in here to do this and do that, and your past life, you didn't do this, and you have all these restraints from a past life and whatever. And I just fighting with all of this information. And I came to a conclusion that this person had something really important to say, that it's a forecast. The world's a very complex place with billions and billions of people. And all of these people and all of these things and everywhere we go and whatever we do is very intricate. There's a lot of different things happening. And things can go in many different directions at any given time. Now, we can have an idea that, well, we're going to wake up this morning and this is what we're going to do. Well, we may do part of it, we may do some of it, we may do all of it. But we come in with that idea that this is what we want to accomplish. So I'm a carpenter, and I'll wake up in the morning and I'll get out the blueprints, and I want to accomplish this today. So that's my idea, my structure, my forecast. This is my forecast for the day. Do I get upset at the end of the day that I didn't meet my goal? No. I worked towards my goal. So in life, we're working towards specific goals. And I will tell you, I've never met anybody who didn't change their goals. They didn't change their forecast. And I've heard all kinds of people tell me through different modalities that this is what you got to do. This is how you got to do it. You got to do it with this person, or all these things. That might be very true. But I will tell you, the best forecast is your forecast. You made this forecast coming into life. Yes, in coming into life, there were definitives, and there was this karma that you can't change. You're not going to change who your mother is, who your father is, who your siblings are, what culture you're in, what race you are, what gender you are, whatever you want to be. If you want to change things, there's all these forecasts, but some things you're not going to change. You're never going to change who your mother is. And maybe you can. I haven't seen it happen yet, but it's, well, I guess the future may hold some promises for you on that one, but I don't think so. But so you come into this life I believe when you incarnate into this life, there's definitives, things that are definite, but you come in with an idea to try to accomplish certain things, to learn certain things. Yes, to possibly make amends in other places, from other times, from other considerations, emotional things, things to work out on a soul level with other souls, possibly. But it's all a forecast. It's just like the weatherman. And why is it like that? I believe there's a simple factor, and it's not so much a simple factor, it is the factor, a big factor. It's called free will. We're dealing with 8 billion people on the planet and so many different possibilities. Everything's changing every second. We're changing every second. How do you accomplish exactly what you want to come in to experience? You may, you very, very, very well may. But I think sometimes we get hung up with this idea that this is what I have to have, or this is what I have to get, or this is what I need. The happiest people I've met and I've taught and spoke with over the years, when we talk about forecast, well, this is what my forecast is. I would like to be a builder. I would like to build homes. Well, so I had that forecast. I started off doing simple jobs, I spent 40 years in the business. I can pull a building out of the ground in under a year. I've done it. So you can get to your goals, but understand that as you're working through these possibilities, it's a forecast. Today, tomorrow, this week, you're working towards something. Try not to get caught up in that idea that it's got to happen today, or it's got to happen this moment, or it's got to happen this lifetime. So I'm a real believer that the soul is eternal. Even though I was brought up in the Western Hemisphere, I do believe that the soul is a carrier of memory. It's a carrier of the past. And I do believe that it's embodied in us and it's eternal. I don't think we really understand, or we've really come to this idea of, everybody's talking about quantum this and quantum that and the soul and, how this all thing works. I don't think anybody's really come to a place yet who really understands what's happening. But I will say, within yourself, you can start to understand what's happening. You can understand that a forecast, or your forecast, can be a good forecast. Even though you had a bad day or a bad experience, or, last week, or this, and my family, or whatever, you can still wake up tomorrow and generate this forecast. I don't know what's going to all happen. I don't know what's going to happen when I leave, when you leave, where we go, what's going to happen at work, when we get on the subway, and all of this stuff. But it's really, you are starting to manifest life based on this forecast. Now, if you really are getting into yourself and you're doing that inner work and that meditation work, or you're starting to embark on this spiritual self-awareness within yourself, you may come to understandings within yourself that your forecast is deeper than this life. That you are making connections with people who you possibly have been with on a soul level before. I personally, I had a dream. Well, I have dreams all the time, and sometimes I remember them, and sometimes I don't want to remember them. The other night, I had one I didn't want to remember, and I wouldn't share that with you because I guess Armageddon came and went. But I'll sit in meditations, or I'll sit in a place and I'll have these lucid dreams, and I'll dream of things, and I'll see people, and I have to tell you, it's really kind of beautiful when you see that person in real life. So that was kind of like a forecast to me. I had a lucid dream. It was like a forecast. I was going to meet this person. I didn't know when I was going to meet them, or how I was going to meet them, or where I was going to meet them. But when I saw this person, I knew that I had seen them before. And then I knew that there was this soul connection, undeniable. It's almost like it goes beyond almost brothers and sisters. It goes beyond family. It's like a soul family. I think some of you know what I'm talking about. So your forecast is in your, it's in your abilities to kind of manipulate and structure. You know, everybody, when I look at astrology, it's the same way. Well, this moon and that moon and all, and believe me, I've sat with some of the best. And well, what if I don't like that? Or, oh, Mercury retrograde's coming in and it's this big forecast. I can't travel. I can't do this, or I can't do that. I have to say, if you are part of the creative force and you want to manifest something, do you think there's a better time or not such a good time? Possibly. Maybe you don't want to move in these places. Maybe your forecast for Mercury retrograde is going to be, I'm just going to sit home. I'm not going to go outside. I'm not going to get in my car. I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to make any plans. I'm not going to do anything. Or your forecast might be, listen, I know all this stuff exists. I know there's a better time, but this time is my time. I'm connected to the creative force. I'm connected to God. That nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to make this happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to work towards it. So the idea, to kind of summarize all this, and I've kind of been ranting and raving. This is probably one of those YouTubes that nobody will ever listen to. They'll be like, dude, this guy Brad, did you see that guy? Let's just watch him because he's out of his mind. Well, that's very possible at times. But life is a forecast. There's a lot of free will going on. There's a lot of your free will going on. You can't change who your mother is, but I will tell you, you can wake up tomorrow. You can change destiny. You can make a decision tomorrow for a new forecast. You can wake up tomorrow and say, the old paradigms of the past are over. That my connection to my soul is real and eternal. And you know what? You can say a prayer, please help me to understand the past and what I've come into understand, and help me release them. Because you can't relive the past, but you can let the past haunt your future, haunt the moment. And if you believe that you're coming in here and all of this stuff has to be resident and you got to go through it, you don't have to go through the past. What? It's a forecast, right? I have free will. You have free will. I can make a decision right now to say, well, you know, maybe I was Attila Han in my last lifetime and I have some things I need to take care of with, 100 million people that I massacred, and, in the 4th century or wherever that was. No, you're not bringing that here. The past is the past. But if you're living that now, you can find forgiveness. You can move on. You can do your thing, create a new forecast. You can even have a forecast of rain, because my neighbors think I'm crazy. It'll be raining outside, and just as soon as it starts torrential raining, my wife will watch me walk out, and I'll stand in the middle of the lawn or the middle of my yard and let the rain beat down on me. Well, yeah, that's healing, right? When there's a forecast for wind and heavy wind, you can bet I'm going to take a wind bath. You can take a fire bath. You can take a rain bath. Use all the forecasts to your advantage. Don't get into the depression thing, like, oh, this and that, and my past lives, and this and this. No, it's in the moment. You're what's important. And if you sit in the forecast, you're never going to be disappointed. If it rains, it rains. If it doesn't, the sun comes out. If the wind happens, it's all really, really, really okay. YouTube world, life's a forecast. Don't get hung up in it. Enjoy it. Evolve in yourselves. Give yourself a break. Know that free will's playing a role in this. Know that you're the creator. Bad things, sad things come and go. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow, the next moment's a different moment. Once you start doing that, it's almost like, I'll leave with the word serendipity. Isn't that serendipity? Like, what just happened? When you create a forecast, you're not like hell-bent on an outcome. And when you're in the right place, spiritually, mentally, physically, you will stumble across the magic and the majesty of life, who and what you are and what you want to become. I'm going to say goodnight. I guess I've rambled on a little bit too much, but much love and peace and blessings. We'll talk to you soon.